I had a 4-person shot on goal, alternate shots parlay, and I just see like everyone blowing up my socials. I get home and everyone's like freaking out. The odds were like plus 45,000.
What advice would you have for a more casual bettor or someone like me?
I can't control these athletes to do their jobs no matter how much research I do. I, at the end of the day, want to have fun with it.
What's the biggest bet you've won?
Last MLB season, the payout was probably close to like...
Sell me or convince me to join your Dub Club.
This is actually going to probably be a little bit different from a lot of people in the gambling space.
All right, we're here on episode 6 of the DubClub CEO Corner. I'm with Matt. What's going on, Matt?
Doing well. How are you?
Doing well, man. So Matt is the CEO and owner of the TopCheddarPicks brand, which is now also on DubClub as of 22 days ago. Very exciting. Matt is based in Jersey with his wife and 2 lovely dogs, one of which I've met on a Google Meet. Fun story about Matt. Matt was previously, before he got into his full-time sports betting consultant profession and content creator profession, he was a tech salesman. I don't know if you want to talk about that, but I'll hype you up. Bummer that Matt, you stopped doing that, because we'd put you in a process to potentially hire you as a Dub Club sales rep maybe one of these days. But I'm sure that's ancient history.
I don't know if my I don't even know what the word is for it. Like my accomplishments as an account executive, as they would say, are that great or that much to talk about. It would be a boring episode.
Well, up until recently, this is actually a fun update for those of you that know of TopCheddarPicks, but up until recently, he was a contributor in another company's group and decided to, I would say leap, but based on his numbers so far and what I've seen, and I'll talk about it in a second, not so much of a leap as just a kind of very calculated decision to be the CEO of his own Dub Club. And within, again, 22 days, I see that 1 in 4 of Matt's paying subscriptions in Dub Club have come from Dub Club channels, which is winning more together, and it's awesome. So the Dub Club channels, again, Matt, you know this, but from the product, there's people discovering you on Dub Club, there's marketing automations you've set up, and there is their recommendations. So if you look at your profile, you'll see that we recommend people that are also subscribed to you and following other people, so it's easy for everyone to find one another, especially like-minded communities. And then we've done a marketing blast and done some stuff on social. So that, I think, that number will continue to go up in the right direction, but great partnership so far. Awesome to have you on. I'm going to stop talking and now ask you a question. Every great entrepreneur and business has an origin story, and yours starts somewhere in the annals of sports betting history. Tell me about your first big, impactful sports betting memory.
I got a couple. I think, what's really funny? A lot of my gambling stories happened after I'd begun this. Like, I'd always gamble, like, here or there, like, just, like, I guess it's, like, casually.
Yeah.
But I don't think I have really that many, like, stories about it. Like, I had a couple parlays that were, like, just fun. Like, before I started this, I never touched anything outside of hockey. So I had a couple like 8-9 goal scorer parlays that came pretty close and had some nice round robins. I never hit any of them, but it really got the blood rushing and like a nice round robin like payout beforehand. I don't think I have anything like before I started this, but when I did, my first year, it was at the end of the year's playoffs, and I wasn't even home for this. I wasn't able to watch the game. I had a 4-person shot on goal, like alternate shots parlay between the Rangers and the Tampa Bay Lightning. I had no idea at any point, what was going on. I was not checking anything. And I just see like everyone blowing up my socials. I was at like a family party. It was like real in the woods, like middle of nowhere, these people's house.
No reception.
So I had no service, nothing. I get home and everyone's like freaking out. And at the time, it wasn't like the biggest, like in terms of, I guess, monetary. It was like probably like $4,000, something like that. But the odds were like plus 45,000 or something, which like to this day is still like the biggest
cash
hit I've had since starting this. So goddamn train. I don't know if that's coming through or not.
Picked up a little bit.
That's probably the biggest one. We've had a couple other ones that came pretty close to that, which are fun. But I'd say that's the biggest one. Again, before I started all this, it was more so just like going to a sporting event with friends and like betting on some stupid stuff.
So have you been a sports fan your whole life, Matt? Tell me a little bit
Yeah,
about like
100%.
background. You obviously love hockey. You're really good at capping it.
Yep.
What's the backdrop?
Sports fan my entire life. I actually grew up in Poland. Until I turned 7, I lived there. So big soccer guy.
Sorry,
That
where
was
did you
kind of
grow
the
up?
only sport.
Poland?
Poland. Yeah.
Like Warsaw?
Well, Kraków, but yes.
Wow, we actually just hired somebody on the engineering team who's from Poland. Shout out to
That makes
Piotr.
sense. Chicago's kind of like known to be like the hotbed of Polish immigration, basically. But yeah, grew up there. Moved here when I was around 6, 7. And like I'd always get in and around of sports. My dad loved sports, so this is a fun fact. My dad was an Olympian, playing handball.
Wow.
So he went to whatever the Olympics were in Montreal, 76 or 72.
Yep. It was
So my dad's always been in and around
76, 'cause I
sports.
think 72 is Munich.
That makes sense. It's one of those two. I know it's in the 70s.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm a
so
huge that's actually one of the most random facts. If I got asked that on Jeopardy, I would nail that because fun fact about me, I'm a huge track and field guy. So I've been watching the Olympics recently. I didn't mean to interrupt your story. I'll let you finish in a sec. But for those of the folks that listen to this and know who Steve Prefontaine is, if they DM me, I will literally give them $100. Steve Prefontaine was he's the best like American middle and long distance runner that's ever graced our presence on Earth. And his story was, he was like obsessed. He's a runner from University of Oregon. He was obsessed with getting to the Olympics and ended up going to Munich in 72. And in 76, he was supposed to go to Montreal, but passed away the year before at like age 25 or something. So anyways, fun fact. I would definitely nail that on Jeopardy. Damn. But anyways, your dad, handball. Let's get back to the Olympian story here.
Yeah, so basically, like, sports kind of just always run in and around my family. Like, my dad's always been a big sports guy. Soccer, mainly, when we first got here, it was, like, watching, like, Premier League, Bundesliga, all that type of stuff. But once we moved here, my dad wanted me to get into as many sports as possible. So right off the bat, like, it's not that popular in Poland, but, like, hockey was probably the second most popular at the time, besides, well, second most popular in terms of, like, American sports. Like, I think, like, volleyball and handball are more popular, but it wasn't too popular here. So right off the bat, like where we had moved to, we were about 15 minutes from East Rutherford, where the Devils played at the time. So my dad would take me to a game, and that's kind of the one that we latched on like right away because it was so close. We would just go to tons of games. And then one of our neighbors his name is Anthony, and he loved baseball. So they kind of like introduced us to more like the Americanized side of sports. So baseball, football. Never really got into basketball in terms of playing wise, but always been in and around sports. Hockey's always been kind of the number one. It's definitely overtaken soccer. Like growing up, it was definitely soccer. Now like hockey's the one for me. But then hockey, soccer still 1-2. And yeah, I've just been around it my entire life regardless.
So I'm really curious. You didn't go as deep on handball as I thought you would. Can you bet on handball? Like, how do you even play handball?
I don't think
in the
so.
Olympics?
I do not think so. I've never seen it bettable anywhere. Like, you can't really watch it besides the Olympics. The Olympics are the only time that'll ever be on like any type of live TV. Air.
Did your dad win a medal?
No, I think they finished like 5th or 6th.
Dang.
Like they were pretty close, but they didn't win.
And he went for Poland.
Yeah.
The Poland team. So, or the Polish team?
Yeah, he's got like pictures and stuff if you go back home.
If you played in the Olympics for something, would you go as an American or for the Polish team?
I have dual citizenship. I could go for either or.
Got to pick a side. You're live and on air. Got to pick a side.
I'd probably pick Poland.
Really?
Yeah.
What if I told you your chances of winning a medal were greater with the U.S.? Would you then switch over and choose U.S. citizenship?
It probably depends. So, like, for example, hockey, I'd be stupid not to go with America. Like, Poland doesn't really have, like, anything. But if it's, like, relatively close, like, I genuinely think, like, Team U.S. soccer's probably better than Poland. Yeah. But I'd still go with them. Like, within reason, yes. But if it was, like, baseball or something, like, I'd be kind of stupid not to.
Yeah. Okay, good. Good. Well, cool. I'm gonna shift quickly to just making sure people kind of know more about Top Cheddar Picks before we get like deeper into you and your background and some of the fun stuff. Uh, really quickly, for you as CEO of Top Cheddar Picks, one of your responsibilities is to sell the vision of the product or service that you provide. Assuming that I'm somebody that knows nothing about your Dub Club and the brand that you've built, and I'm just kind of stumbling around on social media and I follow on Top Cheddar Picks, how would you sell me or convince me to join your Dub Club? What should I expect?
Yeah, so this is actually going to probably be a little bit different from a lot of people in the gambling space, and it's kind of what I really pride myself on and what I want to do. So there's two steps to it. One, we have this area called like the lab where I'm like very deep into like just helping people pick their own winners, right? Outside of me completely is like I think a lot of like gambling like results, like it's a lot of out of your control. Like you can have the best rates possible, whatever it is, like you're gonna have bad days, you're gonna have bad weeks, you're gonna have bad months. Like
Yeah.
controlling what I can is like I keep the lab area to be like a ton of data for every sport possible that people want. We have a lab requests area that if there's something that's not there that you want, feel free to just ping me. I can help out with that. So one is very data driven, data focused, giving people a ton of like numbers and stuff to help them make their own picks outside of what I do. The second is I kind of feel like gambling's gotten away from like what I've always liked, which is like I just like it to be fun. Like at the end of the day, I know like you want to win money and you don't want to be down, and that's never like the goal. But like at the end of the day, I like to have fun with it. And I found that like almost not caring as much about like results and whatnot, I have better time with better results when I'm not almost like having that monkey on my back the entire time.
Totally.
Like I think there's a lot of stuff of like making sure you're gambling responsibly, and that's absolutely still a big deal and something I preach 100%. But yeah, like all like the odd stuff and closing line value and all this. So like, I just like to bet to have fun, man. I want to hit bets, and I found that doing it that way is like I've been extremely profitable doing it. So I just continue running on that right
I
now, and I
respect
kind
that.
of
And
want
I
to bring
think,
that back.
Matt, I think a lot of people respect that. I don't know if have you integrated that into part of your brand and your persona? Do you feel like that's come through in how you sort of message yourself and message Top Cheddar
I think I could do a better job of it.
potential
I don't think it's like
community members
fully.
that like, hey, look, this is going to be a lot of fun. We take it seriously, but the whole intention of this is for you to have fun and win more together. Then like you literally win more together with Top Cheddar Picks than you would on your own. It's like we're not saying you're going to win every day, but you'll win more together in the community.
Yeah, I definitely think I could do a better job of it. I think there's a lot of work toward, like I said, I just kind of started this thing on my own. So we're what you said, 21, 22 days
yeah,
in.
we're moving on
so
to
we got
day
some time
22.
to work on it. But I definitely could do a better job of it. And that what you said is exactly it. It's like I don't want to guarantee results, but I know that I have like a long-term track record of having good results. But that's almost like not my main focus. Like I want to give the best data, the best research, the best like insight of my own that I can give. If it ends up great, great. If not, like stuff happens, man. Like we can't have these players go out and have these like defined results at the end of the day. So I just try to have fun with it, man. I hate when you go on Twitter and you put out some like fun parlay that I'm only sweating on. It's like, oh, that's never gonna hit. It's like you're probably right, but like I'm gonna just sit here and not gamble on anything for the day. Like I want to have fun with it, and that's kind of what I've been doing. And this first month, like I said, just again having fun with it. We've had really, really good results, so we're gonna keep doing it.
Love it. Love it. Well, I'm on board with that for a lot of reasons, but the number one reason is I like statistics and I like big picture, and you're not amongst the minority, you realize. Most people do this for fun. Like most people bet on sports for fun. Making money is a nice side effect, especially with people like you, but Matt, it's like 75% of people who bet on sports say they do it for fun. 3 in 4 people. So add 2 more people into this podcast, and it's like you, me, and one other person would be doing it for fun. So you're kind of appealing to the masses with that marketing messaging.
I
and
might
sort of the
be
persona.
too, for me then, I might be too deep. Like my Twitter feed might be too much of like
Yes.
everyone in the space, because like all I always see is like making sure you get the best lines and EV and all this stuff, and I'm just like, I'm just trying to have fun with bets, man. And
Look, I think one of
we'll
the
cash
coolest,
at a higher rate than most, but I just want to have fun with it.
totally, one of the coolest and most interesting conversations. We obviously talk to a lot of people in this space. We work with over 1,000 partners, all in sports betting with different styles, and you've got guys giving out ballpark. You ballpark pal giving out ballpark
Yeah.
data, research and information around like weather patterns and like swing velocity and whatever. And then we've got people who they have bots set up just to identify basically arbitrage opportunities across books. There's a very big difference in the level of entertainment that you get out of the different styles. I personally would
100%.
never, while positive EV betting, sure, could probably be something where I make more money maybe over a longer period of time, consistently. It's just not as fun. Like, unless I have some automation set up, I have to literally be on it 24/7 because stuff moves so quickly. I'd rather just be in a community where we're sweating stuff out together. And yeah, I'm making some money here and there, but like, we all just love sports at the end of the day. That's why we do this.
Yep. And I think part of it is a lot of these EV guys that I know are like, they're super sharp.
Yeah.
Like they're 100%, I'll tell you, better gamblers than I am in terms of like, not guaranteeing, because I don't want to use it, but like
Yeah.
they could probably
Yeah.
assure you better success, right? And they're
Yeah.
very good at what they do. But for me, it's just not fun.
Yeah.
It's just not fun at the
I
end of the
know.
day. Like, if I'm gonna sit here and I want to watch a sports game, or I'm going to a game or whatever it is, like at the end of the day, because I just want to have fun with it. Like, period.
Yes. And look, I think again, it's interesting because the whole persona of DubClub is you're gonna make more money with DubClub than anywhere else. But that's not the only reason to be like, you're with DubClub because it's fun. We're fun people. It's fun we all love sports, we all do this, but at the end of the day, yeah, it's a great way to make money. And that's exactly what your community is. It's a great way to make money, but you're also having a blast. And I think that's super powerful. And, unsolicited advice I would give you is I think you should weave that into the way you talk about it, the way your community talks about it. Use that as an asset, because I think you'd be shocked at how powerful the notion of just having a good time. Because betting, I mean, you know this, Matt, like betting on sports, it's unpredictable regardless of how good you are. So it can be very toxic mentally. If you're in a community where it's positive vibes only and everyone's having a good time, I'm going to want to stay around in that community for a longer period of time. Some of my longest subscriptions as a user have been purely just because I like the people I'm in there with.
Yep.
Like
100% agree.
I'll probably have him on the podcast soon. Is Kenny from the Moonshot.
Yeah.
Awesome guy. He does meetups with the people in his community.
So I've told him this before. The Moonshot Discord is the only Discord I joined before I was like ever did my own thing. Like I was a
Wow.
part of it as just like a member.
Yeah.
And I've told him this before.
What'd you think? What'd you think of the community?
Oh, it was great. Again, it was a lot of like, I love just tailing the lottos. Like I didn't
Yeah.
really care if like they weren't hitting or it was a cold streak, but when it did, like it was awesome. And they were telling us, make sure you do some safe stuff too. I did not listen to that. I just bet the thing that was $5 to win,
Yeah.
2,000 every day. But I had the time of my life, and I met a ton of people that I still talk to today. Like, my entire thing started in there. Like they didn't really have anyone talk NHL, so I just started putting little NHL like snippets in there. And I had some people tell me like, "Holy shit!" Like, oh, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to curse on this.
Yeah, you're good.
Like you're pretty good at this. Like, have you ever considered starting a Twitter? I'm like, no, I never thought of it. But like, honestly, without that, like, I don't think I'd be here today.
It's so interesting that
Genuinely.
that was the person. First of all, that's awesome. I hope I'm gonna send this episode to Kenny after we're done and say, Kenny, we gotta.
I've
do
told
an
him this in
episode now.
DMs before.
He's gonna be
I've told him
famous
this.
now. Not that he isn't already famous. I think it's awesome that. Well, the community component is awesome, but the second thing that I wanted to get to, which I love to hear, is just the general notion around being there to tail the lottos. Like, I find it so hilarious. I think I mentioned this on another podcast, but sports betting is illegal in California, yet the lottery is worth like, I don't know how many tens and tens of millions. It's like people are buying lottery tickets every day, and California doesn't see that as a worse form of gambling. And, probably arguably less money than they'd make from sports betting revenue. It's just insane to me.
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah, and you're in Jersey, so you're lucky. You're in a good state. So
Oh, we have
Matt,
everything here. It's fantastic.
I'm gonna move into a couple of the questions I wanted to ask you about some of the craziest stuff you've experienced. We'll start with what's the biggest. I know you mentioned the plus 45,000 to hit 4K. What is that the biggest ticket you've cashed? What's the biggest bet you've won?
Like, in terms of odds, that's the one. Like, the highest odds one, that was it. The highest actual winnings I had last MLB season. I had a dual ladder play with Kadai Senga and Pablo Lopez
Okay.
For strikeouts. I think there was both of them to get like 12. The
wow.
odds came out pretty nice. I think the odds probably went up to like 20, 25,000, something like that, if I remember correctly. But the payout was probably close to like between like $9,000 and $12,000. So that was the biggest, like, monetarily by far.
You froze for me, so I'm just gonna eat that. What was the payout? I told you that
It was like
the audio and video.
it was like 9, 10. It was like around there for like the combo, because like with the ladder, I took
wow.
them from like 8 to 12. So if you
Yeah.
combine all four of them, because they maxed, it came out to like somewhere around there.
That is awesome. So, tell me,
Now you cut
Matt,
out.
if you can still hear me, because you froze again. Something's wrong with the recording audio, but I think I can see you now. Hopefully you can still hear me. Tell me about what went into that. How did you stack those two together? 12 strikeouts each. I mean, tell me more about how you chose that. Was it gut? Was it, were you looking at data? What went into that?
I mean, there's definitely some data involved in it. Like, I don't ever just bet stuff on like pure gut. I always look at something. So I remember Kadai Senga at the time was on like a heater, and like he was really, really good. I forget Pablo Lopez. I want to say he went up against some like really bad team that like he like basically struck out against everyone. I don't think it was the most like surgical play you could find. They just happened to do their jobs, which are nice.
Yeah. What typical tools do you use?
I do a ton. So we pull a lot of our own like data. So like in the Discord, we have someone that like pulls and like posts like a K sheet, an RBI sheet, which is basically giving you like good spots for it. I use Plate IQ a ton for baseball. I think it's the best tool in terms of like baseball data and like matchups. I use a ton of Props Cash basically across every sport. But yeah, every sport's got so many different tools at this point. Like I'm going between like 15, 20 different websites across 3-4 different sports.
Anytime you hear me pausing, it's because you cut out for a few seconds and I lost you, but I got that last little bit. I think the audio and video will be fine. Luckily, we've got great editors for the CEO Corner, so they'll make this happen in a good way. So it sounds like you have like 6 to 10 different tools you use to inform anything that goes out to your community in terms of advice. It's not like you're basically doing a lot of the work for them, but there are tools in your Discord that they can use if they'd like to do some of the research themselves.
Yep, exactly.
It's a good deal. And how much do you charge? $14.99?
Yeah, 15.
$15 a month?
Yep.
I'd rather pay that than my Netflix subscription, which I rarely use anymore. I'm a HBO Max now, so much more efficient. All right, Matt. Next question, along the same lines. What's the craziest thing you've spent your winnings from a sports bet on?
Ooh, I'm a big watch guy. That's kind of like my current obsession. I don't really spend money on myself outside of I like watches. So I've definitely delved in some nice winnings for watches.
So I don't know if you know who Nas Easter is on Twitter, but he has his own DubClub, and I asked him the same question, and he was a watch guy as well, jewelry.
Okay.
What
I'm not.
Talk me through the brands. What kind of brands are you a brand watch kind of guy or what?
Yeah, for sure.
I have a Fitbit, so I don't have much
right
to
now,
go by here.
I have a couple. I just got like a Cartier, which is like more of like a classy one that I like.
Yep.
I have a couple Tudors, a couple Omega. The big ones, I think I have 3 Rolexes now in the collection.
Okay.
And the next step is I really want to get an AP Royal Oak. That's kind of like the next big hit is absolutely going on a Royal Oak. One of my neighbors was showing me his and just fell in love with it. So
Love
that's
it.
step goals next. And I came real close to getting it this NHL season. But one damn person, and if you ask any of my followers, they know who it is, ruined a slip to win like $117,000. So,
Oh,
yeah, it was a great ticket. Honestly, best ticket I've ever put together in my life. 6 guys at like plus 200 or higher. One dude I threw in at minus 150 thinking there's no way he's going to miss, and that's the one that missed.
wow. Brutal.
Yeah, that would have gone straight to a watch, I'm telling you right now.
So how much?
Matthew Kachuk, I hate you.
Yeah. So 117 grand. How much are you looking at? How big does this hit have to be for it to cover this dream watch?
I mean, you could get like an intro and AP probably around like 20.
Okay.
But you probably
Not bad.
closer to 30 if I want to get like the perfect one that I actually like.
Yeah. Well, let's shoot for the moon.
Yeah,
for
that's
30.
the plan.
Yeah.
That is the plan.
Good. Nice. That should be. You should run a campaign in your Dub Club. Hey, this next one could be for the dream watch. Do a little giveaway.
I love it. I love the idea. We'll do a watch Discord on top of everything else.
Yep. Froze again. All right, you're back.
Yeah, you were too.
I'm wondering if I'm freezing on your end too. If not, it's probably fine. But we'll edit this out, and if not, hopefully it's funny. Matt, a couple more questions. We're coming up on time. We got about 5 minutes left.
Yep.
You seem like a pretty relaxed guy. I'll admit. Maybe it's the 2 dogs. Maybe it's living in northern New Jersey. But being a content creator, running a small business, that all can be stressful. What do you do to relieve stress? What do you do for fun?
I'm in a lot of. I'm one again, sporting events. It's kind of not getting away from it, but I love going, watching, anything about it. That's one. The Devils being the main one. Like me and my wife are season ticket holders. We'll go a ton there.
Yep.
Other than that, hanging out with the dogs is awesome. Like the dogs are literally the number one stress reliever. Just running around playing with them, like 10 out of 10 would recommend.
Yeah.
So that's a big one. I'm a big video game guy. Like if I have time for it.
Yeah.
I like playing video games. I always have my entire like.
What do you play? Like FIFA and stuff, or Call of Duty?
I used to be real competitive sweat where I can play like all of those. Now it's more so I just playing like single player story mode games. Like just relax. I can pause it at any time. Like I watch it. It's just I can't play the sweat games anymore. I used to be big into Counter-Strike and League of Legends and all that, and it's one, it takes up so much time that you can't like take a break once you start it.
Yep.
And 2, I'm just sweating the entire time because I'm trying to play. So
if you want to sweat, you'll put some money down for the $30K winning ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel you on the story mode. You are you a big Grand Theft Auto guy or what?
Yeah, love GTA.
Is there a new one? The last I played was GTA 5. That was a good one. That was years ago.
Well, not yet. GTA 6 is coming out next year. They're in current production for it.
Where is it located? Like, do you know where
I think it's Miami, but I actually don't know that for a fact.
San Andreas is by far the best. I don't know if you played that back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, I played all the GTAs growing up.
Well, you just hijack planes.
Played Vice City, San Andreas. I think Vice City was the first one that I played.
Yeah, it's Vice City. Vice City was good. San Andreas just took off because then you could fly planes, and I was like, game over. So cool.
What other games? I'm again big into story mode. So like God of War, I played recently.
Yeah, I've never played that.
What's the one with the zombies that I just played? That was really good.
Not I used to play Call of Duty Zombies, but it's been a while.
No. Dying Light.
Resident
was
Evil.
A really good one. Yeah, I played Resident Evil as well. That's another really good one. Like, basically anything with a good story mode now, like cinematic, not Left 4 Dead. What's the one they just made a show about it? I can't believe it's
Walking Dead.
No. What the hell's the name of it? God, it was like HBO show zombies. The Last of Us.
The Last of Us.
It was a
Yes.
great video
Good
game.
show.
Absolutely loved it.
Good show.
And I obviously watched the show as well. But like a lot of those types of games have been what I've liked to when I have time now.
Yeah. That is a good show. Very interesting dynamic amongst the main characters. I actually think I stopped watching after like episode 5 or something, but I got to get back to it.
Why? That show's incredible. I can't wait.
Yeah, I don't know. I do that a lot where I start a show and then I'll bounce to something else. Like I don't know if you've seen Succession, but like season 3 Succession, I haven't seen the rest of it. I bounced around.
That's one of the shows actually I haven't gone around to yet.
That's a good
Everyone
one.
tells me to try.
Good one.
I'm the complete. Once I get hooked on a show, I need to finish that as soon as possible.
Yeah, you got to impart some of that on me. I got to get through it. All right, Matt. So 2 more questions. One, let's start off with the context that I think elephant in the room. But NHL's over, NBA's over. We got a couple months before football, and I feel like baseball gets a bad rap. Baseball's fun. Like you can bet on it every day.
Oh, baseball's great.
Yeah, people, billions of dollars is still wagered on baseball. But you're an NHL guy, so let me ask you. Let's say you're an ESPN broadcaster, you're on some sports show, obviously less cool than the CEO Corner, but you're on some sports show and you are going to give a recap on the NHL season. Walk me through what you saw, what was interesting, catch me up as somebody that may not have had any context or really watched much of it.
You cut out there, but I just want to make sure I got the general gist. So basically just a recap of the NHL season for someone that might not be a big fan.
Yes. Show us why you're the NHL GOAT.
I mean, from a betting perspective, I think everyone would agree that it's been the worst NHL season ever, with a lot of the changes that they made.
Yep.
But in terms of the actual season, we had incredible playoffs. I think the playoffs compared to like NBA level is next to way better.
Yep.
We had an insane Stanley Cup Finals that went Game 7 in a close game. The best player, in my opinion, to ever play the sport, although he doesn't have the accolades for it, like Connor McDavid is, in my opinion, the greatest, no, not the greatest, the best, like most talented NHL player to ever play.
Yep.
Made it to the Stanley Cup Finals after his team started horrendously. They were like 2-13 at the beginning of the season and completely turned around, which was a lot of fun. You have guys like Alex Ovechkin, who's like chasing history for the NHL goal record, and now he's getting probably still 2 years away from it, but you got that as a really good storyline. Yeah, the NHL's just been, I think it's been growing really, really well lately, and I think it's getting more and more fun. The amount of talent in the league now is insane. It's faster, stronger. You have like young superstars like from the Devils, like Jack Hughes, who's so much fun to watch compared to like the early 2000s. That's like these monotone superstars that like don't give any answers. So I think it's a lot of fun on that end. Overall, I thought the regular season, the playoff races were insane. I mean, in the Eastern Conference alone, there was like 6 teams down in the last week that still had a chance to make it, which made it a lot of fun. And like those games basically were like early playoff games, which are great. The Western Conference is more so wrapped up, but at the same time, we still had a really good end of the season, good playoffs. Which is fun. I think this year we have a really fun story with Utah coming in the league, so that's a new city getting an NHL team.
Salt Lake.
So that's a lot of fun. Yeah, they're sharing the stadium with the Jazz, so
Okay.
Salt Lake.
Yep.
You got NHL draft is tomorrow. Free agency begins on Monday.
Man, that's
which, again,
quick.
Ton of fun, and
They
I'll
don't waste
definitely be
time.
in front of my computer refreshing every 2 seconds to see what's going on there. There's just a lot of stuff. I think the NHL is like at the best spot it's ever been in terms of like parity. You really don't have that many teams that are really bad. You have a lot of young talent, a lot of skill in the league, and a lot of like young kids coming up that are like insane.
Yeah.
Like Connor Bedard just had his rookie year this year with Chicago. Basically put up better rookie numbers than anyone's seen since like Sidney Crosby's come in the league. Well, I guess Connor McDavid, but this kid's like a young stud. He's supposed to be like the next great one. So you have him in the league, and there's a lot of fun up and coming young talent for the NHL. And if you don't watch it, the people that do watch it, like they realize like how exciting and like exhilarating it is compared to other sports, because there really is like no breaks in action.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've been to one NHL game and it was awesome. One NHL game my entire life. Sharks game. Very, very cool.
Really?
Lots to look
The
forward to
Sharks
in the
aren't great right
NHL.
now, but
Sounds like there's a lot of young talent. That's always good. It sounded like a sales pitch for why people should keep an eye on it, care more about it as a sport. I know it's
yeah,
a
100%.
huge sport, but
And if you want to bet
there's
on
more.
it, you know where to go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, search Top Cheddar Picks on DubClub, and you'll find the right spot if you're looking for some NHL betting advice. Matt, this was super fun. I do have one parting question before I let you go. 40 million people in the U.S. bet on sports every week. It's a statistic you may or may not be aware of. Most people look for information before they bet. Most people bet for fun. What advice do you have for people that bet that regularly? And then what advice would you have for a more casual bettor or someone like me, betting at big events, not all the time?
I think at the end of the day, again, I mean, it's been the common theme of what I've said. Like, I understand that at the end of the day, like, I can't control these athletes to do their jobs no matter how much research I do.
Yep.
I, at the end of the day, want to have fun with it. And if I have fun with it, regardless of results, I'm pretty happy either way, whatever happens.
Yep.
I want to have a good sweat. I want to be able to enjoy the time. If I go to a sporting event, I want something else to, like, really sweat out, which would make it a better time. But at the end of the day, I truly believe that, like, worrying too much about, like, oh, I got to make sure I'm profitable. I got to make sure I'm doing this properly and all these numbers and stuff. Like, to me, it just, like, it almost weighs it down and, like, puts, like, this monkey on your back. Like, I don't go into it thinking I'm going to be rich. I don't go into it thinking, like, I'm going to make so much money. It's like, going into this, I'm going to watch some sports tonight. I'm going to have some fun. I'm going to put my best foot forward. And if I make money, great. And if I don't, at least I'm responsible with my bets, and it's not going to, like, end me or ruin me here. It's like, at the end of the day, I bet what I can within means. I have fun with it. I get to watch sports all day, and I have a pretty damn good time doing it. So that's kind of my advice.
I love that. I'm going to turn that into a tagline for you.
Love it.
Have fun, make more money, bet what you can, win more together.